This story is one of modern entrepreneurship. A group of 4 Missoulians coined a phrase used to capture snowmobiling misadventures simply by inventing a word.
And it turns out that term has endless potential. Our very own Dan Cimmino goes on special assignment to explain boonstuckin'.
By design, the English language allows for creativity. The internet generates endless opportunity. So when you combine the two with a term such as boonstuckin', you suddenly have something quite marketable.
We started going out for our first time, a bunch of motorcycle guys gone snowmobiling, and well, we started getting stuck a lot.
You know, it came from all of us being brand new riders, not really knowing what we're doing. We thought we were all really cool. We thought we were boondocking, and then we realized all we're doing was getting stuck. So it's just a combination of words.
And just like that, the brand was born. In February 2013, the Boonstuckin' Facebook page launched for friends and family to share their sledding mishaps. In less than a year, however, it suddenly has its own following.
The beginning of this snowmobile season, all of a sudden it just took off. People were finding it, and we have Facebook fans all the way in Sweden and Norway and Russia, and so it just started taking off, and pretty amazing.
It was all fun and games for the fearless foursome until they realized others wanted their hands on the brand, and then they realized they better start taking things a little bit more seriously.
We had another website talk to us about maybe purchasing it, and we realized at that point we had something pretty serious, and we better take it a little bit more serious. And that's when we had to do our trademarking and get a business license and everything else, and then realized that we had something that was really cool and other people might want it.
So what makes boonstuckin' so attractive to the masses?
No matter what skill level you're at, you always get stuck. Everybody gets stuck.
I try not to get stuck, but it seems to still happen, so.
It's basically the joke that it happens to all of us, but none of us really like to talk about.
You know, I have some older buddies that have sledded for a long time, and now they're bringing out their old pictures. They're like, yo, check this out from 20 years ago on my little short track sled. He's like, I'm way stuck. You didn't really bring that stuff out before.
The evolution of boonstuckin' continues with its own website and apparel. Luckily for the quartet, one of them is currently studying business.
I'm in college and going to school for business and marketing, so it seems like as I go through classes and go through some of the schooling, it's about the same time that we run into things with boonstuckin' that we need.
As boonstuckin' progresses, the journey has the promise of potential profit. But in the meantime, they're just enjoying the ride.
For us, boonstuckin's it's a lot of fun. It really gives you a sense of pride. It doesn't happen very often that you can coin a term that actually takes off.
Yeah, it's a made-up word, and all of a sudden now it's real. I mean, now it's trademarked, now it's ours. We own a word. That's pretty cool.
I'd say it's a pretty good gig. Making up a word, getting to hang out with 3 of your best friends, and making a little bit of money on the side. On special assignment, Dan Cimmino, MTN News.
Dan Cimmino joins us live with more on that. Dan.
Thanks, Mike and Jill. At about 5 a.m. this morning, City Street Division Superintendent Brian Hensel actually thought they were in pretty good shape considering the recent storm, but then all that changed when the snow changed into rain. However, it was just a year ago when Dave's life changed forever. The date was May 19th of 2012. Dave was participating in the peak triathlon when suddenly here at Blue Mountain, his heart started to give way, and the doctor said he only had a 1 in 10 chance of survival. It was one of his first days in Thompson Falls, and Bob Wolf had just recently moved in his family into their new home. Later that night, he decided to swing by work to say hello, a meet and greet. Little did he know what would happen next. Another potential benefit should Uber come to Montana is extra employment and money-making opportunities. Drivers that work for the app get to set their own hours and their own rates. And in a college town like Missoula or Bozeman, it could be quite profitable. Obviously, drive service apps will directly impact business for local cab companies. Within 15 months of Uber being introduced in San Francisco, taxi trips within the city went down by 65%. On special assignment, Dan Cimmino, MTN News. Transporting major supplies via the railroad is typically considered a more efficient way of moving cargo. However, accidents can still occur. It was quite the scene at the Vantage Villa apartment complex when a structure fire broke out, causing both the city and rural fire departments to respond. It has been 2 full decades since the NBA has had a Montana Grizzly take the floor, but this season, Will Cherry is about to change that. Over the past couple of decades, Washington Grizzly Stadium has seen some big-time games. The next one on the schedule, August 29th against North Dakota State. It seems to be the perfect storm for what might be the biggest one yet. Naturally, yours truly couldn't resist the opportunity to go full Monty. Now, the first time inside the suit is sort of unbearable, but once the head goes on, then it's just time to grin and bear it. Fortunately, much better auditions occurred shortly after, as Tabor relays that the university is in good hands for the foreseeable future with a fresh anonymous performer already selected. Obviously, yours truly is to remain a mere mortal as someone else becomes Montana's next mascot. On special assignment, Dan Cimmino, MTN News.